Miriam Joy and welcome to my studio. Today we're going to be doing this light bulb and necklace set, and this is actually a really quick project. It doesn't take a lot of time. We can also turn it into a pin as well, so whatever you want to make with that. So we're going to start with our wax paper. Get that all prepared, and we're going to use a cookie cutter light bulb. And most of you probably already have one like this. You can find it in your cake decorating stores, or I found it in a specialty store. If you don't have one, Google it on the internet and you'll probably be able to find it there. It's not a very big ornament. We don't want it very big. And I'm going to take my vegetable spray and spray my paper and also my hands. And this is the place where I always tell you to take all your jewelry off, because you don't want the Quikwood in your jewelry. We're going to be using Quikwood to make the actual light bulb itself, and it dries rock hard, and that includes your jewelry in an hour. We have 20 minutes workable time with the Quikwood. And the hardest part about this for me is getting a little part cut off, or a little piece cut off. So make sure you remove the plastic out of it. And if you've never worked with Quikwood, I do have some great Quikwood videos on my website you can jump over and watch as well. You don't want to cut off very much, because we only want to do one at a time. And as little as these are, you could do it a couple at a time if you have a little bit more cut off. That's not a big deal. If your hands start getting sticky, spray some more vegetable oil on them. So we're going to roll that guy into a ball, make him a little bit oblong. And I've worked all the colors out of it so he no longer has two colors. And I know that way he's activated. If you don't activate it, he won't get hard. So you want to make sure you do that. We're just going to check and make sure that'll fit the light bulb, and it will. And make sure you don't have any lines. On my red bulb, I had a line left from my wax paper and didn't realize it. And you can spray your cookie cutter a little bit, but really get that really well around the edges so that you don't have any you have to cut off. And you can save this for your next one and just knead it back into your Quikwood as you're working. Because we are working with the Quikwood, you should have enough time to knead that back in, and then that will make it last a little bit longer, and that won't go to waste. I'm going to take my hobby knife, I'm going to clean up all my edges around my ornament. And I'm going to poke a hole in him. And I'm going to use an awl. Now, because we're using jump rings in the jewelry, we're not going to make this as big of a hole as we would with the ornaments. But you want to make sure that you can get your jump ring through there. I'm going to come in with my embossing powder. And I'm going to use red for this one. But any of the Christmas colors, you can use that. And you saw I pounced it off into the lid, otherwise you're going to get too much, and it goes a long ways. And we're just going to make sure you get the edges as well. So we've got the ball part. Now I'm going to use silver on the stem of the light bulb. Top. Just going to put that right there like that. Alright. And then we're going to give it its reflection, and I'm using a white pearl color. And again, bounce it off into the lid first. And we're just going to come down on the left side of the reflective light. And if you do a necklace, keep them all on that side, because that's where it would be reflecting. So we're giving it a glow. Don't press too hard, because you want to make sure that you don't mess the ornament itself up because it's still nice and soft. I can see it actually indented a little bit there, so you want to not push very hard on that. So I'm going to come back in with some black paint now, and we're going to make the top of the ornament separate and give it some detail to give it a little bit nicer shape here. So I'm just going to take my liner brush and get a little bit of water into it, almost the consistency of ink. And you just work that water into it. And I usually work with a little bit thinner liner brush than this even, but this is fine. And we're just going to, first of all, make the top, which really it needs that. And then we're just going to pull lines down on the actual ornament itself. And you can do however many you want to, it doesn't matter. And that is the part of the light bulb. Now, you can spray varnish this, or what I like to even make it more 3D is I take my wax now, and I'm using the zero tool, and I'm just pulling down a stroke. And you need to wait and do this till it's a little bit drier. I've got another sample over here that should be pretty dry. I'm going to do this on it now and try again, because it does go down into that a bit, into the clay. So I'm going to do it again. And that's much better. So wait till that dries. And then once it is dry, I spray varnish it first with my Krylon. And because it's wearable and it does have the wax on it, if you didn't put the wax, you wouldn't need to do this as much. But put the triple thick by Deco Art brush on, and it also gives it that glassy feeling, which I really make it look like a bought piece of jewelry, not just a handmade one. It gives it that nice finish. So I really suggest doing that. And then once it's dry, and you want to let it dry till it's not tacky anymore, and it might take a little bit to dry. Once you're dry, we're going to take it over to finish it off with our earrings, and then we'll talk about the necklace too. On the earrings, you actually need 2 jump rings to make it hang straight. If you put one jump ring on and put it onto the earring part, it's going to hang sideways, so we need 2 jump rings. Now, when you get the earring part, excuse me, a lot of these are open a little bit, so the first thing I do is I take my pliers and I shut that nice and tight. I don't want that open. So I'm going to use the little jump rings on the earrings, and we're going to open these up a bit, and I'm going to run it through the jewelry, or excuse me, the bulb, the light bulb, and I am going to close it. And when you close it, you want to really make sure that you squish it together from the side and the top really well. This is what keeps the jump rings from falling off. I don't know if you've ever gotten a piece of jewelry and the jump rings weren't closed well, and it comes right off, and that is the reason for that. I'm going to squish it sideways, and then I'm going to squish it from top to bottom just to keep that nice and tight as well. So now we're going to put the second jump ring on, and we're going to do the same with it. We're going to open it up, and we're going to put this one through our first jump ring, and then we're going to make sure that it's hanging right towards the front. Because sometimes if I put this on the other way, it would be hanging backwards. So you want to make sure that it's hanging towards the front. So we put it through the jump ring and through the earring. And we're going to squish that again in both of those places like we talked about to make sure that your jump ring is nice and tight. So we're going to squish it on the sides first. And then we're also going to squish it, and I over squished it. If you do, just pull it back out. and then you squish it from the top and bottom so that you have your earring. Now, if you're doing a necklace is actually only one jump ring. You want to get a chain, and your chains have the different links, and you're going to hook into this link here. So we'll draw our little light bulb here. So you're only going to do one jump ring, and it's going to lay this way. Now count off how many up, and don't lay it out flat, because I actually laid my jewelry out flat and put the light bulbs on, and then when I lifted it, they were closer together because it comes at an angle, so I had to move them farther apart. But why I wanted to show you the drawing is you have every other chain, and you want to put it on every other one, but the one you want to put it on, you have a top and a bottom, and to get them to lay flat, you need to put it on this bottom, not the top. It's real important. So I think I have about 6 links in between mine, but when you get to that link that you want to put it on, make sure that you have it held right, and you put it on the bottom of this circle or this chain right here, not the top, and that will keep your light bulbs hanging straight for you. And I think this is a really, really fun project. Another thing that you can also do, if you don't want to go into putting it onto necklaces, or if you want to just do the earrings and you think the necklace is a little bit too much for you, simply take your backings, your pin backings, and varnish it, and then put it on with your E6000. And remember, you want the pin to go down, so the pin would close at the bottom of your light bulb, and you could put it on, and you could even make a couple of those and give those as a gift, and that would be lots of fun. So that is how we do our little light bulbs. If you have any questions about this project that we did today, please email me at art@miriamjoy.com. For any of the Quikwood products, you can visit my website at miriamjoy.com, as well as we have the YouTube link where there's a lot more fun projects like this, especially ones for the holidays. And like I was saying, there's some Quikwood ones as well to help you learn about the product. And there's also a Facebook link on my website that takes you over to Facebook, and you don't have to be a member. You can just jump on over and see all the fun things that we do there, and I try and post a gourd for you every day. So have a Merry Christmas and God bless.